So welcome back. We just had a little longer break. So Barbara got affected by the heat and the energy and started to fall off the chair. So she's recovered now. She's sitting nicely there watching us. And we're back into where we were. Some of the elements that surround us in this world are actually such that we find the prospect of being as elevated as we are causes a reaction in our body. And that reaction actually depletes all the salts and suddenly makes you pass out or feel extremely ill. This has been known for centuries. And this is what people can experience from time to time. The most important thing is to return the salt to your body, and you do that very quickly by putting, say, Himalayan salt under your tongue. And then any drink that is effervescent, particularly a mineral water or a Alka-Seltzer or some of those other ones that just tablets fizz up, and that puts the carbon back into your system to allow you to recover very quickly, because that's the base structure that forms the look-up table for your whole body to recover from anything. So that's why carbonated water is sometimes very refreshing, but without the salt, it doesn't really know what to do. So anyway, that's what we went through with Barbara, and she's feeling a little bit overheated, but she's good. So we talk about elevating ourselves for the future and maintaining that position forever. And we've just found that the world, or us, or our body, or events, will come in and disturb what we think is perfection. But in fact, it fires up everything inside us to go and look after one another. Because the only thing that's important is looking after one another. Everything else doesn't really matter. You can come up with arguments of what you should do to look after one another, but you see what happens in an emergency and you don't even think. It just all works. And somehow everything comes together and we're back on track to do whatever we want to for the future. And the biggest thing in our minds right now is to celebrate our presence and to bring to life a future that we know is real, and to bring it to life for everyone, simply by interacting quickly, fervently, and without one trace of thought. All the skills of each one of us here just came out immediately. And we could feel lots of beings around, making sure everything was working properly. So in the future, this will continue, and it will happen with everyone on this side of the camera and the other side. There is no disconnection. So as each one of you feel one another in need, you will respond, but not in the way that you do if you're present. And you don't need to connect to one another. It'll just be a very instant impulse that brings your skill into the world where the person is focused right now. Every time we decide, well, we'll do some new things for the future, something will come in and say, oh, no, you don't. It's going a different way. and you jump up and down a few times and say, wow, everything was going so well, and then this came in. But if you look at it from a distance, you'll see that we're guided by all sorts of things. And we're guided to make sure that everybody knows that our most important thing is one another. And the evidence in this will now show in many different parts of your life, where some people are capable of bringing in an income under conditions where they can't survive. We will gradually move those people out of those positions where they can't survive, and we'll find other ways for their skills to actually have value. We'll move heaven and earth to make sure that everybody slips into the world that they know is perfect for them. And that's not just in the physical plane, that's in every form of life. So when we walk beside someone and we feel that there's something really disturbing them, we won't ask, we'll just fix it through the magic and the miracles that we have available to us. And in every sense of the word, we'll be the masters of our elevated being and of our elevated way of life. In the simplicity of everything, we can only go with what comes to us. And now, as we develop more things, we will come out on top in every venture that we ever attempt, because we'll be so sensitive to the needs of others that we will make things happen through our magic that we never thought we could possibly do. As you walk on the beach, you change everyone's life. As you walk down the road, you change everyone's life. The moment you feel aggression, you know you're in somebody else's world. There is no aggression in anybody's own personal world. It doesn't happen. There is no disturbance in your own personal world. It doesn't happen. So the moment you feel it, you have to disturb the moment, get on top of the wave, and fix not what happened to you, but fix the source of the disturbance. And sometimes just the wave of the hand is enough. Other times, you'll get a shivery feeling. Other times, you'll feel an energy burst come out of you. Other times, you'll get dizzy, or you'll feel like you're going to lift off the ground. Or you'll feel that pop like it's an explosion of something. And all those things are current in your ability to maintain perfection for everybody else as well. You have no responsibility. This is how you are. We're going to move very fast in the next short time to make sure that we are conscious of the fact that we are really magic and that our capabilities go way beyond anything we thought of. And that the strange things that we put to one side in the past are actually quite brilliant, very, very effective interactions with people, events and things to make them turn out the best for everyone. In your sensitivity, it's important that you remain isolated from the events of other people's worlds. Because if you're not isolated, you can't help. You just join them on the trip over the cliff. But if you're isolated, you can stretch your hand out and pull them back. And that is not done by you being physically involved, but it's done by you being totally in control of the situation that you know you can handle in a fraction of a second. And if it doesn't look to be the solution, that's nothing to do with you. What you deliver is perfection in a fraction of a second. How it appears in somebody else's world or life is not your concern, because you know you did it right, and you just keep walking. And the way you know you did it right is because you feel the freedom. Like there was a time where I couldn't sit beside someone without fixing them because I felt uncomfortable. And I wasn't going to feel uncomfortable. I would just fix them. They'd say, "What did you do?" And I hadn't touched anybody. I said, "I just had to make myself comfortable." And people couldn't understand that. They really thought that I should have a name like a healer. And I said, I don't know what that is. I only know that in my environment, everything is perfect. If it's not, well, I've got to fix it. And many people who were supposed to go to hospital for operations and all sorts of things didn't have to. Even at a party, I had someone limping around, and I said, "What have you got to do that for? That makes me feel uncomfortable." And he said, "Oh, I've got a really, really bad knee." And I just said, "Well, look, lean down and touch the side of your leg. I'll tell you where to go." And I moved, said, "Bit further, bit further, bit further. Now press in there real hard until it hurts." And he went, "Ah," and stood up. No limp. He was so annoyed. I said, "That feels better." And he said, "What?" And I said, "Your knee's not hurting." And he said, "No, it's not either." He was due to have knee surgery 2 days' time. Never happened. These simple things are available to all of you because you are in contact with what the person feels in a whole different way than your mind. And when you feel it, you're going to do a better job than them because they feel and react. You just feel and you know. So you fix it without even asking or even getting any credit. And this is the way of the future. All of us are here to make sure everyone's okay. And we don't have to pay for anything because nobody's providing a service. They're providing their own comfort. And that you can pay for yourself. So now we're starting to see past the way the system has been set up and the way we've been forced to work against our nature. There are cases where we have to have that for employment to keep us going. But in general, it's not necessary. And the income that comes from healthy people is much more than the income that can come from people who aren't healthy. Because healthy people They shine, their eyes are bright, they attract income, they attract brilliance, and they attract the future. And there's not an organisation in the world that wouldn't employ a bright-eyed, what we used to call fluffy-tailed person, who can prance around no matter what age they are and impress everybody. There's not a company in the world wouldn't employ that person for some reason. They'd find a way. Because it enhances their business, it enhances the people, it enhances their income, and it enhances life. And really, you look at companies and say they're terrible, but the people in the companies aren't. That's why we're dealing with people, and not the organisation that says they own the people. So as we deal with the people, everybody will be fine. And everything that we look forward to will actually be here from today on. We're not slowing down, and we're not claiming anything. We're all just enjoying the world and the life that was given to us by somebody for some reason that we'll never figure out. So now I'm going to cut things short a little because we need to celebrate again. And thank you to everybody who tuned in for the second time. This will all come together in an overall presentation. But for now, I think we're all back to that very, very special place where we can say to one another, have a perfect life, perfect health, and a magic future. Thank you, everyone.